For more than 30 years, Women's Fund of Hawaii has been promoting equality and justice for all women, creating more pathways to economic security, leadership opportunities, better health, education, and safety for Hawaii's most vulnerable resource, its women and girls. With $100,000 in grants annually, the Women's Fund has been empowering women and girls statewide through innovative grassroots initiatives, including its own leadership program, Girls Talk Back. To provide immediate support for women and girls right now, the COVID-19 Emergency Fund has made grants to combat domestic violence, fight homelessness, and address healthcare issues and food scarcity. Together, with your help, we can achieve our vision of safe, empowered, and economically secure girls and women in Hawaii. Because when women thrive, communities prosper.
And part of the Hawaii News Now team. I am honored to be your host for tonight's Women's Fund of Hawaii Tea and Champagne Virtual Edition. You're in for an exceptional and inspiring evening, all while raising funds and awareness for Women's Fund of Hawaii and the incredible local organizations with programs for women and girls that it supports. Now, anyone who's been to Tea and Champagne before knows it's normally very different than this. But maintaining public health is critical right now, and we're really glad you have tuned in. Mahalo for spending the next 30, maybe 45 minutes with us learning about Women's Fund, what we do, and why. We are so grateful to our wonderful and amazing Ruby, Emerald, and Pearl sponsors, table hosts, and donors who stuck by us during this transition to a virtual format. It's your support and confidence that give us the courage to keep moving forward. A special shout out to our tea sponsor, the folks over at the Tea Chest. And if you are watching, ehele mai, comment on our tea and champagne page or on our Facebook page if you're watching there. You can simply use the Share Now button that appears below me. It's right here to invite friends to join us. We're going to check in live on a few viewing parties going on tonight. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Women's Fund of Hawaii. It's been around for about 30 years now, over 30 years, and its purpose is to serve as a permanent community funding source that promotes equality and justice for all women. Your donations can reach remote areas of our island state and tiny programs that are really making a difference to our island communities. Women's Fund vets all grantees meticulously so that you can feel confident that your investment is being leveraged in the most impactful way. During times like this, it is essential that we act together to achieve the vision of the future we collectively hold. Now, how to give. We are going to raise some money tonight. Giving and inspiration is what it's all about. And there's a number of ways that you can support. If you're watching this on teaandchampagne.swell.gives, you can give right on your screen. Just use the Donate Now button. If you prefer to text, you can use your smartphone and send WF Hawaii in a text to 4144. You'll get a link back, then click on that link to complete your information. There is no limit to the number of times or amount you can give. Kokua, everybody. Just remember, you have to complete your information, or we won't know to add it to your donation total. If you're not about that tech life, kind of like me, give us a call at 808-439-6388, and a volunteer will take your donation over the phone. All right, this is fun. If you donate just $40 or more, we're gonna send you this super cool Wahine sticker. We all love stickers, Wahine stickers. And if you donate $500 or more, we're gonna send you this awesome Wahine pin too. This is all the craze. I've been collecting them, and it's pretty cool. We have a challenge of $10,000 offered by Ulrike and Tofiki Siddiqui. These very generous donors have offered to match a goal of $10,000. So let's keep in mind the mission. Come on, let's donate, everyone. We are empowering women and girls. So please donate, and please donate generously. You can use the hashtag #T4Good on your posts. We're gonna see them. Mahalo for tuning in. Now, for many reasons, we wish we could be together, but there are some silver linings to a virtual event. There are no seating charts or capacity restrictions, so you can feel free to right now invite your friends and tell them to tune in now at teaandchampagne.swell.gives. We are able to have messages of support from both near and far, including one from Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono. Check out our auction. There are tons of things there at 32auctions.com/TNC. great things there that you can donate for. It closes tonight at 8:30 p.m. There's some great stuff on there, like I mentioned, including dinner by Cater to You in the winner's home. This is valued at $5,000 and the starting bid is at $2,000. So go ahead, everyone. This is a private dinner in your Hale Sweet Hale by Cater to You, and a great way for you to be a part of this. And if you're wanting that staycation here on Oahu, you can also auction up. It's a 2-night ocean view stay at the Halepuna Waikiki. Mahalo nui to Halepuna Waikiki by Hale Kulani. The value is $1,075 with the starting bid at $500. Let's remember, there are lots of things up there and ways for you to donate. Now, Aesthetics Hawaii and Dr. David Yu have donated multiple things, one being a Botox treatment with him. The value is $500 and the starting bid is $250. And when we are ready to travel to the multiple places that Hawaiian Airlines takes us, you can win 60,000 miles. Excuse me. The value is $600 and the starting bid is at $250. So again, many things that you can go auction off, all for the Women's Fund of Hawaii. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna hear from some accomplished and inspired women tonight, and we'll be treated to musical performances by ukulele virtuoso Taimane, Leokane Pryor, and CJ Helekahi from beautiful Hana Maui. Let's now hear from Women's Fund of Hawaii Executive Director Leela Bilmes Goldstein. We'll also hear messages from other extraordinary executive directors who know firsthand about the importance of this organization we are supporting tonight, followed by our 2020 Tea and Champagne co-chairs, Mara Victor and Courtney Wagner.
Aloha and welcome to Tea and Champagne 2020. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all of our very generous sponsors, table hosts, and supporters for standing by our side with compassion and understanding as we navigate these turbulent times. Thank you as well to the incredible board of directors of Women's Fund for their generous support and leadership, and to our fantastic Tea and Champagne chairs and committee, mahalo. And to you, our viewers tonight, thank you for being here. Our mission is to support innovative grassroots programs that empower women and girls. Women's Fund does this by making grants to qualified nonprofit organizations with programs designed specifically for them. Our grants committee vets proposals from across the state, ranging from better-known programs to smaller community efforts in more remote areas such as Molokai and Hana Maui. While the process is time-consuming and difficult because we always receive many more worthy applications than we can fund, it is our most important and rewarding work because it provides visibility into the needs of women and girls across our state. We have seen women play a disproportionate role in responding to the coronavirus pandemic, including as the majority of frontline healthcare and social assistance workers, and as caregivers, both paid and unpaid. Tragically, shelter in place has also led to a steep increase in violence against women and girls. Women and girls must be involved and thoughtfully considered in the decisions made during this public health crisis, and racial and gender equity must be a priority in the recovery. You hold the key to making that happen when you fund our work to empower women and open doors for their leadership during this uncharted time. We invite you to be a part of sustaining the health and vitality of the community, which is so nurturing for us all. Please support us tonight if you can, because when we join together, every donation, large or small, makes a big difference. The women and girls of Hawaii need us now more than ever. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and even though I so wish we could be together, I hope you will love hearing from the amazing women speaking and the incredible musicians performing for us tonight. But first, let's hear from some friends and partners about what the support of Women's Fund has meant for them.
Aloha. Adult Friends for Youth is so happy to be partnering with Women's Fund of Hawaii to help our girls on the Leeward Coast. Our diversion counseling program takes them off the streets, keeps them out of the justice system, and into counseling to help heal and deal with the root causes of their problem. Thank you, Women's Fund of Hawaii, for your support.
Aloha nui kako, this is Ilimoho Lastimosa at the Wamnala Beach Park. I'd like to mahalo the Women's Fund of Hawaii for their kokua and support with not only our food distribution program that's been running since March 30th, but also for the Pink program that they sponsored our pilot last year, and we'll be kicking off our next program next month. So mahalo, you guys have a great time. We aloha you guys. Mahalo, mahalo ho, aloha.
Aloha, Women's Fund of Hawaii. This is Jeannie Garcia, the Director of Impact for Positive Coaching Alliance. Thank you so much for your wonderful grant, which continues to empower girls and women everywhere. Mahalo nui loa.
On behalf of Read to Me International, thank you for your support. Our mission is to promote the love and joy of reading out loud. We offer parent coaching programs in Hawaii's correctional facilities to help families bond despite a parent's incarceration. Mahalo again for your support during this critical time.
Hi, Dr. Lisa Paniktera, Clinical Director of Malama na Makua Akeki. Thanks to Women's Fund of Hawaii, women and children had safe, sober housing during their treatment stay. Mahalo.
Hi, I'm Lauren Walker, ED of the Hawaii Friends of Restorative Justice. The Women's Fund of Hawaii has supported projects for women incarcerated at the Hawaii State Women's Prison for many years. They've supported a family law clinic and lots of other projects. Please support the Women's Fund of Hawaii. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Mary Scott Lau, the Executive Director of Women in Need. I'm here today to thank the Women's Fund of Hawaii for their generosity. We received from the Women's Fund of Hawaii enough money to open up a third house for women and children. This is what's desperately needed for our people here in Hawaii is housing, and we can't thank you enough. Please continue to give generously. God bless you and your families.
Aloha, I'm Nancy Creedman. I work with the Domestic Violence Action Center. I wanted you to know how much we appreciate the support from the Women's Fund of Hawaii. Having you stand beside us as we provide support and healing and crisis services to survivors of domestic violence and island families. Thank you.
Aloha everyone, this is Noriko Namiki from Vita BCA Oahu. Women's Fund to us is like a wonderful girlfriend. She's always like there for us. She understands us and she supports us. And when you had a good day, you want to call her. And also when you had a bad day, you want to call her. So thank you so much for always being there for us. And we really appreciate your friendship. Mahalo.
Aloha. As co-chair of this year's virtual Tea and Champagne event, I wanted to take a moment to thank our viewers, sponsors, and all who support the Women's Fund of Hawaii each and every day. Your efforts help the organization to achieve its mission in supporting innovative, grassroots programs that empower women and girls statewide. The Tea and Champagne event has always been a staple fundraising effort for the Women's Fund of Hawaii. Although we've had to make changes and modify the structure of this event, it's important that we continue this annual tradition to support our grantees. During these uncertain times, they need our help more than ever. Your contributions will directly affect programs across the state that help to keep women and girls safe, healthy, financially secure, and empowered to reach their fullest potential. On behalf of the Board of Directors and all who donate their time and efforts to the Women's Fund and Tea and Champagne event, we thank you for your generous donations and support.
Aloha! It is my honor to serve as co-chair to this year's Tea and Champagne COVID edition. This is a unique year because walls and sitting charts no longer constrain us. No tickets required, just the will and the passion to support the Women's Fund of Hawaii and its grassroots programs for women and girls across the state. Thank you for watching and for sharing your passion, which is the heart of what we do. But we also need legs, which is the funding side. Without them, we cannot continue our work. Kindly help by bidding on auction items and dessert dash or by cash donation. This year is a phenomenon in terms of our health, evidenced by the pandemic, racial equality, evidenced by Black Lives Matter movement, and politics, the evidence of which is your vote in November. And women's rights are affected by all of this. Mahalo to our sponsors, donors, volunteers, viewers like you, board members and staff for your support in strengthening our hearts and legs so we can fulfill our mission. When women thrive, communities prosper.
Great, wonderful women in our community who are having these amazing watch parties all over, and I actually want to check in and see what kind of fun they're having because this is a fun event. Let's check in right now. We are going to go to Marvick and we're going to see Sarah and Whitney, and where's Leela? And there's, ooh, hi everybody. How are you? Hi Marvick, who's at your party right now? Show us around. Hi. Hi ladies, you all look so beautiful. Thank you for joining us in your watch parties and for being safe. I see those masks. Hi. Look. Hi Crystal. You look gorgeous. Are you guys having fun celebrating women of Hawaii? Oh, you guys look so beautiful and pretty. It is a beautiful evening here in Honolulu. Why don't we go to Whitney and Sarah? Cheers? Can we get a cheers? I got the bottle, ladies. I got the bottle. All right, let's do a cheers. You don't want to? No? Okay, perfect. I'll save it for myself. All right, thanks everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Mahalo for your support. All right, here we go. There have been many lives touched by the Women's Fund of Hawaii since it first began in 1989. Nicole is just one of the many success stories that illustrate how the investments made to the Women's Fund are working and making a difference. Here is her story, followed by a special performance by ukulele virtuoso Taimane Gardner.
I was considered a piece of his property. A week after we had got married, things turned really negative. My value had diminished after the marriage right away. He used a lot of manipulation and capitalized on the marriage to abuse mentally and physically. Before I was with my husband and the abusive relationship, my life was very career-oriented. But really when I had gotten sick is really when he really got bad. It's almost like I was worthless at that point. I remembered the moment when I needed to get out. He was throwing punches and he's, 3 times my size. And I blocked a punch and my arm went numb from my elbow to my fingertips. And I thought, if he can damage me and have no remorse, I just decided right then and there that was the last straw. I drove to the ER and they asked me, do you feel safe to go home? And I said no, and I had the shirt on my back and my bag and my flip-flops. And at that point, I didn't care where I went, as long as I was okay. I couldn't take any more abuse. So they said, well, there's a shelter you can go to. It was a DVAC shelter. And they came and picked me up. And right away, they helped me fill out paperwork so that I could go see doctors, get the medication that I need to take daily so that I could try to get my health back. They housed me. Recently helped me to have permanent housing, assisted me with the Perfect Circle Entrepreneurship Program with Volunteer Care England, which I now have started a Pa'ana Akala to share my handmade jewelry and artwork. I had counseling with them, which helped me to heal and to bring back mindfulness and that sense of self again. When my husband was abusive, the only way I could get away is to find different activities to keep me busy, which is really the only thing I could do at the time to save myself. I love to do my hobbies, paint in my free time, make jewelry, and usually just brings me a lot of joy. I never really thought about doing these things as a business or a way to become independent. I don't know where I would be, if I would even be alive, or what would have become of my life without the help of all these people. Women's Fund of Hawaii, Domestic Violence Action Center, the Perfect Circle program through Cara England. All of these have been a gift to my life that has enriched my life from being extremely hopeless and beaten down and falling apart to coming back to my health and on the path to financial independence. There is help out there, and the time is now better than later.
Aloha Women's Fund of Hawaii. I'm so happy to be a part of your tea and champagne fundraiser. This song is specially for you women. This song is called Goddess Rising.
Yes, girl. Isn't Taimani amazing? Her talent and performances always leave me awestruck, and she is a sweetie. All right, tonight would not be possible without the tremendous support of so many community partners. We're going to take a quick break, but want to first thank and acknowledge the many sponsors and donors that have contributed to our virtual event. This year, our sponsors had the opportunity to honor important women in their lives at Tea and Champagne.
Women are everyday heroes. I'm proud to honor 3 outstanding young women who also happen to be my daughters, Yasmin, Mariam, and Cheyenne. They are fierce, smart, loving, and kind. They are products of the Hawaii public school system. They work hard for their personal and professional goals, and more importantly, they give back to their communities. I measure my success as a mother by the women they have become.
The Fertility Institute of Hawaii can offer a comprehensive evaluation and develop a treatment plan specific for your needs.
The Fertility Institute of Hawaii, helping to create new beginnings.
Mahalo, everyone. Welcome back. It wouldn't be Tea and Champagne without our hallmark activity, the famous and much anticipated dessert dash. Of course, we're doing things a little differently tonight, and here's how it usually works. Generous chefs and restaurateurs donate delectable desserts, and each table gets to dash over to the dessert tables and stake their claim. But your spot in the lineup is based on how much money your table or team raises. The more money you raise, the sooner you get to choose your dessert, and the better your chance to get the dessert you've had your eye on all evening. This year, we have 15 desserts, so the 15 tables, and again teams, who have raised the most money by the end of this program should be ready to dash over to the chat box. Stay tuned after the credits are pow, and we'll put the list of desserts up to remind you and look for your name to appear to make your choice. You'll have 30 seconds to respond in the chat box with your choice, so it's gonna go fast. Now, things that are gonna be up there are amazing, amazing cakes. Like this chocolate mousse cake, it comes from our dessert donor, Fendubu Lanjiri in Manoa. It is a Valrhona chocolate cake. Can you guys see how yummy this is? Made of delectable chiffon cake with mousse layers, with an outer layer of almond cake and a fouillatine base. Okay, it's time to find out who the current leaders are for our dessert dash. Hold on, let me see. We're gonna get here right now. Let me see. We have raised technical difficulties right here real quickly. I'm gonna go to telling everybody my iPad code. I'm seriously, 2520. Oh my gosh, you guys, we are at $107,000 right now, $107,000. The top tables are Mara Victor, Alexina, Lovejoy Table, Mahalo Nui for all your support. You guys, wow, this is incredible. Keep on donating. We are supporting women tonight, and we are also awarding you with 2 prizes. One for the best fundraiser, the person who successfully invited the most people to contribute to Women's Fund of Hawaii, or possibly contributed the most herself. Go get it, girls. Now, the best fundraiser wins a $100 gift card to Merriman's Honolulu and a Women's Fund Hawaii Doki. It's a collaboration, You Grow Girl tea. It's super cute. I have to show it to you guys. This tea, You Grow Girl, was especially designed to celebrate the work of Women's Fund of Hawaii grantee Oahu Resource Conservation and Development Council and women in the food and farm industry. Our second prize is for the person who wins the most social media and helping spread the word about the Women's Fund of Hawaii. The person who tops the most social leaderboard at the end of our program wins a yummy Jewels and Gem Dolki collaboration, Paradise Room Spray and Paradise Candle. It smells super, super ono. And the winners will be announced after the show. Now, we are close to meeting the $10,000 challenge offered by Ulrika and Tufiki Siddiqui. Now, reminder, they will match your donations dollar for dollar. You can see all the information right here until we reach $10,000. So please donate generously. And when you donate $40 or more, we'll send you this awesome, I showed you guys a little bit earlier, the Wahine sticker. And of course, we also have the pin. I'll show it to you guys. I already showed it to you guys. I'll find you. Okay, so we know it's 2020. Mind-boggling, mind blown every day. But it's been a tough year, and women in particular are disproportionately negatively affected by this current pandemic. With the help of so many generous donors, Women's Fund was able to create an emergency fund to provide support for grantees on the front lines of this crisis and the women most in jeopardy. This is just one of the many programs that Women's Fund of Hawaii is investing in. Because when women thrive, communities prosper. It is a proven fact. We are pleased and honored to share with you these messages of support from powerful, powerful wahine who are making changes both here in Hawaii and across the country. And still ahead, we'll be treated to the musical stylings of Leo Kane and CJ Helekahi. Mahalo. Let's go to our sponsors right now. Actually, we're going to
Aloha. I'm truly delighted to join y'all for this tea and champagne event. Mahalo for being generous community leaders who have stepped up to support women and girls through the Women's Fund of Hawaii. I'm sure we can relate to Queen Latifah, who said, "I have always felt strongly about empowering women." She added, "I'm living proof that with confidence and by believing in yourself, you can accomplish any goal." WFH is working to ensure that all women and girls in Hawaii believe in themselves and have the opportunity to accomplish their goals. Now, currently we are living in strange times, as evidenced by having this virtual gathering. However, we must adapt to changing times because of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a virologist, I wasn't really surprised that a pandemic occurred. There were warnings of the danger of coronaviruses with the emergence of SARS and MERS. In fact, scientists predicted in 2007 that the coronaviruses in bats were a time bomb. That bomb has now exploded and cost the world dearly, especially impacting women who often serve on the front line and are frequently low-income workers and caregivers. When working with the World Health Organization on influenza, I learned the adage, if you don't look, you don't see it. And if you don't see it, you don't prepare for it. That accurately describes what happened in the U.S. with regard to COVID-19. Thank goodness for WFH, which was prepared and acted quickly to establish an emergency fund to provide immediate support for organizations supporting women and girls on Oahu, Hawaii, and Maui. So far, that fund is still open and ready to do more. The ability to do more depends on our support. I will close with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. "The sun shines after every storm. There is a solution to every problem, and the soul's highest duty is to be of good cheer." So let's all be full of good cheer as we donate generously to enable women and girls to survive this storm and also thrive into the future. Mahalo nui loa.
Good evening. My name's Teresa Younger, and I'm the President and CEO of the Ms. Foundation for Women. It is truly an honor for me to be with you this evening and the Women's Fund of Hawaii as we celebrate the 15th annual Tea and Champagne. I do wish I could be with you in person, but this virtual atmosphere will have to do. In these times, it is important that we care for ourselves and we care for our communities. I oftentimes say this is a moment of space, grace, and pace. So tonight, I ask you to exhibit all of those things. The space that we need to give women and girls to dream into the world they want. The grace to recognize that we don't always get it right, but we have to keep trying. And the pace to recognize that to change for a world that brings us full gender equity and equality, it's going to take time. But we can start that today. And it has been started there in Hawaii for over 30 years as you continue to guide and lead the way towards gender equity and equality for all. In this case, I want to take a moment to celebrate the Women's Fund of Hawaii for all the work that you are doing to help fund and support domestic violence shelters, to help ensure that we have no more food scarcity, and to ensure that we can move forward in a place that is full of love and respect. So let's continue to do that together. At the Ms. Foundation for Women, our mission is to build women's collective power. And that's what we can do tonight. We can build women's collective power, we can make the world a better place, and all of us can come together to ensure that the women and girls of Hawaii are able to do the work they need to do. Make your contribution and continue to support the amazing leadership of Layla and the Women's Fund of Hawaii.
Yes! I'm so excited to be here. I would much rather actually be in Hawaii, not virtually. I miss Hawaii so much. My name is Julie Foudy. I am a former captain of the U.S. women's soccer team. I played on the soccer team for many years. Some say too many years, 18 years. Won 2 World Cups, 2 Olympic gold medals. And when I retired, I went to the dark side into television. I now work for ESPN, and I call games and interview all these amazing athletes on television besides soccer. But what is my labor of love is I run sports leadership academies for girls in the summertime, our Julie Foudy Sports Leadership Academies for middle school aged and high school age girls. And this is something I've been doing for 15 years. So I can tell you firsthand the work you are doing with the Women's Fund of Hawaii and all of the partners that the Women's Fund of Hawaii works with in the community is making such a difference. Because it matters to plant that seed for these young girls, to tell them that they have the power to own their awesome and that that lives inside of them, right? I think that's the one thing I have been able to witness firsthand is really the transformational effect of telling a girl she can do anything she wants to do, right? That she just needs to figure out that leadership is personal, not positional. You don't have to be a president. You don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to even have an Olympic gold medal, right? You just have to care so deeply about something that you're willing to change it. And that is the power of passing that on to this young girl. All of a sudden, this light bulb goes off. It's an epiphany. And it's like, I can do this. So what you're doing matters so much, and I just hope you never underestimate the power of you're allowing this young girl to live out her dream. So thanks for all the great work you're doing. Please invite me to Hawaii for the next tea and champagne. I'm not much of a tea drinker, but I definitely can drink champagne. Thanks again for all the work you're doing, and I hope to all meet you live and in person one day. Thank you.
Aloha, this is Senator Mazie Hirono. I want to thank the Women's Fund of Hawaii for literally decades of support for programs that support women and their families. Your grants make a huge difference, I know, and especially now more than ever when in any crisis, women who are on the front lines need support and help, and you're doing it. Mahalo nui loa. And as I was reviewing the programs that you support, I particularly like your new collaboration called Girls Talk Back. I really like that. I am of the view, of course, that girls should be speaking up. As I said, in any crisis, women are on the front lines as they are in this triple crisis that we have. We have a healthcare crisis, the pandemic, we have an economic crisis, and we have police brutality and systemic racism crisis. And in crises, women tend to be the strong ones. And so the support that you're giving for fighting domestic violence, which is on a rise, for the healthcare issues that women are facing right now, and all of the women who are not just on the front lines in terms of the healthcare sector, but they are working in our supermarkets, in our pharmacies, doing all those things that keep the rest of us going. So the funds that you're directing toward domestic violence, homelessness, those kinds of programs are particularly important. And we always say now more than ever, your support is needed, and it is true because these are not normal times. And whatever you're doing, I know you recognize that we have to do more of it. We are in a crisis. Women are on the front lines, as are you. Mahalo nui loa for all you do.
Aloha kako, and welcome to Tea and Champagne, brought to you virtual style. My name is Leo Kane Pryor, and I'm joined today by my dear friend CJ Helikahi, and we're from Hana, Maui. CJ and I have been playing Hawaiian music in Hana for about 15 years, which I believe is the number of years that the Tea and Champagne event has been going on for the Women's Fund. Even in a community as remote as Hana, the Women's Fund has made such a difference in our nonprofits there for young women and for women and girls. So please, kokua, donate something today to the Women's Fund and support their amazing work that they're doing for our keiki, young girls and women all across Hawaii nei. Mahalo nui. CJ and I are going to play for you a very famous Hana song called No Kapueo, and it's a song that was named after our bay in Hana, Kapueo Kahi.
Hey,
Ooh, so ono. Mahalo to Leo Kane and CJ for sharing your beautiful music and mele and for your support. All right, everyone, I have an update. Earlier, I told you that there was a $10,000 challenge that was made and it has been met from all of your generous donations. And we want to thank Ulrike and Tofik Siddiqui for the $10,000 matched. That is amazing. And thank you. And you can continue to donate through the rest of the evening. Okay, so we know Women's Fund of Hawaii harnesses the power of collective giving and collective action to support multiple organizations addressing a range of issues related to women and girls' equality and empowerment. To show you how gifts to Women's Fund of Hawaii make a profound impact and literally changing lives, let's hear a beautiful story from Leilani Thompson.
My story begins at a very, very young age. My earliest memories was of being molested by family friends. And for the longest time, I never thought anything was wrong with it. In fact, just recently, did I really put it together that maybe that's the reason, that's the reason why sex is a commodity to me. The drugs came soon after, as a teen, I guess, and it spiraled very quickly. My drug use continued on into my adult years, and that's when all the real trouble began. I started picking up crimes and going to jail. I stayed in prison for 8 years in one stretch, and in and out all my life. That's what I knew. Drugs, crime, that's what I knew. There came a time when I needed somewhere. I was frantic. I didn't want to go back to jail for the 23rd time. I was on my way back to jail, and I didn't want to go. I actually heard of Women in Need from someone who was there. I ran into them while on the bus, and she was like, just come, they'll take you, just come. I went there with bad intentions. I just needed a place to go so I didn't go to jail. And they weren't having it. They threw me out of there. So the same day I was supposed to be taken in was the same day I got thrown out. They told me to get cleaned up and come and see them after. It was at that moment when what the WIN program told me stuck. Their actions, their hard love, and them not giving in to it, my manipulation, that stuck with me. So when I went back to jail on a violation. I did my residential program. And when it was time to come out, I decided to call WIN again. So I rolled up in there the second time, and I was honest with them this time. I was clean. I wanted to be there. I wanted women to work with me. I wanted to be in a place that wouldn't take no crap from me, that would call me on my crap. And that's where I got it. And so they accepted me in. And since then, they've been such a great support to me. They taught me how to apply the skills that I had to my own life, and not just have it stored in my head, but to put it into work, in my own life. And that's someplace nowhere else had given me. And they taught me how to love myself first. Sorry. I can't even put into words how grateful I am for my life. And how thankful that I am that the Women in Need program hasn't given up on me. They never give up on us. I mean, I've seen them get out of bed at night. The staff get out of bed at night just to go out and pick someone up because they need a place to go. There's no other place that gave me what they've given me. Unconditional love. I really, really think women need other women to strengthen them, to encourage them, to lift them up. And thankfully, the Women's Fund helps WIN to help us. I was allowed to go to one of their fundraisers, and I was amazed. I was amazed that it's bigger than just us. I'm so grateful for all the people who help. fund us and fund the program. Because without them, where would women like me be, you know? Where would we go? When we're at our wits' ends, when we have no one else to go to. And I'm grateful. I'm so thankful. Today I choose to continue to help women. I want to get my CSAT. I want to reach out to women like me, coming out of prison, coming out of anywhere, that needs help, you know, that feels like they're lost. I'd like to work with people in mental health because I'm part of that community. Luckily, I've been offered a position with Mental Health Kokua as a peer coach. I have a lot of things to look forward to. As long as I continue to stay on track and do what I'm supposed to do and what's healthy and right for me, I still have something to look forward to.
She speaks the truth, everyone. Women need donations like this and just each other to elevate one another. So stories like Leilani's and Nicole's show us that there is no question about the difference you're making in women's lives when you support Women's Fund of Hawaii. Through the funds raised tonight, grants can be made to fund a parent support program for mothers of newborns, fund a program that teaches girls to tell their stories through film and be creative, provide job and nutritional training for homeless and disadvantaged women like Leilani, fund domestic violence advocacy services, which are so critical during these turbulent times, provide coping skills to assault victims, and we have far more need than funds available. Whew! We need your help, everybody, and you can help. Our auction site will be open at 32auctions.com/TNC until 8:30. So helemai, head on over and keep track of your bids. And if you're watching this on Tea and Champagne, Sotswell.gives, do a shot for me right now and you can give right on your screen. Just use the Donate Now button. If you prefer to text, use your smartphone and send WF Hawaii in a text to 41411. You're gonna get a link back, then click on that link to complete your information. There is no limit to the number of times or the amount you can give. I can feel your hearts opening right now. Just remember, you have to complete your information or we won't know to add it to your donation total. If you prefer to call in your donation, talk story with somebody, dial 808-439-6388 and a volunteer will take your donation over the phone. If you donate $40 or more, we're gonna send you this super cool Wahine sticker. And if you donate $500 or more, we'll send you this awesome Wahine pin, which I am happy to add to my pin collection. Mahalo nui to each and every single one of you, along with Women's Fund's wonderful board members, Tea and Champagne committee members, and our tireless volunteers. Thanks to your generosity tonight, Women's Fund of Hawaii will be able to keep moving forward with their mission to support innovative grassroots programs for girls and women statewide. This is so important. Together, we are truly making a difference for individual women and girls in our entire island community. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to support Women's Fund of Hawaii. We leave you now with another performance by the talented and wonderful Taimane Gardner. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
This song I'll be playing for you is called Directions and talks about Mother Earth and how we're constantly trying to find grandmother and her wisdom here in the islands.